Good evening, everyone. This is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Monday, November 12th, 2012. I'd like to start by wishing everybody a happy Veterans Day and to thank all those soldiers and men and women who served to defend our nation and protect us. Thank you all. Okay, let's take a look at the S&Ps. Our last update was Thursday for Friday. So on its way to this is a daily chart of the S&Ps. On its way to the 233 exponential moving average, which most people use the 200, but I like the 233. It did an overnight shot. You can see that it ended Thursday at around 1375. And it made it, I suggested that it may make it up to 1388, which it did, which was a 13-point gain overnight. And I thought maybe it could get up to 1396. It didn't quite make it. It kind of like it ran out of steam. There was a short squeeze going on during the daytime, but it just simply ran out of steam. I'll show you on the 4181 tick chart. And now we're down. So it did bounce off of the 233. Now we're in the overnight session. It's approximately 7 o'clock on Sunday evening, Central Time. And let's take a look at, let's see what, this is a live screen chart we're looking at. And we can see that, let me see. Okay, this is a 7 o'clock candle. I mean the 5 o'clock candle when trading opened. Now, it did take a 202 point gap up in the S&Ps, and that was a result right about 5 o'clock Central Time, was about the same time as the BBC News announced that the Greek government approved the budget approval, and which would allow a $31.5 billion euro loan to the loan was pending Greek government approval for 2013. So that approval includes an austerity package of tax rises and pension cuts, and also next year, even with this, next year the Greek economy is expected to shrink by 4.5% and debt to rise to 189% of gross domestic product. So you can look at it this way, on a very fundamental basis. Greece is still connected to the EU, and there's a responsibility that the EU members have taken to protect their own. But the whole EU and the banking system is as strong as its weakest link, and this is not a very strong, this is a weak link basically. So, but the approval gapped it up by 2 points, and then it immediately went down 500 points from there, from 1377 down to 1372. And now it's kind of working its way back up a little bit. So it's down 25 cents, it was down 350. So we'll see how that works out. But right now, if we're looking at the daily chart over on the left, it really doesn't look that good, because I thought that here's the move that went on Friday morning, and it looked very, very healthy going up here until Triton wave number 3 went below 0, and then it just sold off from about 12 o'clock on, and it zigzagged in this pattern, lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. Well, except for maybe that one, that was about even. So one of the things let me see here. That was a different stock that I was thinking of. Okay, so one of the things I noticed was that there's a lot of ticks in here, which is unusual for one day, and there were a lot of ticks from the day before. So you can see an actual better picture if you look at the 4181. And when there's a lot of ticks like that and it's very active and you want a bigger view, it's better to go to the longer one. So we have here the collapse started right about at 12:15, which is the same as in 1597 tick chart. And key was that it came up and it kissed off the 377 on the 377 exponential moving average on the 4181. So once it kicks off of that, you look to see if it's going to break through and cause the T5 to go above 0, which would mean it would break through, come back on the top side and move up, or is it going to take this and take T1 down below 0, which it eventually did. So the entry is actually, you don't know what it's going to do here, so you have to wait for the entry. Like 2 or 3, you're gonna lose out in the first 3 or 4 points, but it's a safety deal. So you get in when T1 goes below 0, and then it just carried T1, T2, T3 is not quite below 0, but it looks like the trend is still down. All right, let's take a look at Apple. My target for Apple is still 514, except for this little glitch that I suggested might happen at 529, 530. So it went down almost to exactly there. Well, I think it was like 533 low. And then started a race up. The high on the day was 555. So it was like a 22-point move from high to low before it decided to settle right in the middle of the range. So not a really big effort. It might still go back up a little bit. The 21 is indicating that it's getting close to the top of the range here on these peaks on T1, and you can see that it's been riding the crest of the 50-day 50-period moving average as it's the crest of this, and it's hitting the 377 also on the 21-minute. So there is a possibility this could snap back up to 595. I don't really think that's going to happen, especially since T5 is so down below 0. But let's look at the closer intraday plays. Let's look at the 1597. And at the 1597, it's hugging the 377. So that's a better way of looking at it. Right now, it kissed off at 555 and then finished at 547 right in here. So T1 is below 0, T2 started below. I think that Apple might try to get up to about 364. It's possible it might get up to 364 or just go sideways or just start coming right down. I'm not really sure. It's not definitive yet until the larger waves on the 1597, like T3, T4, and T5 are completely below 0 like they were here for this move that we took on Wednesday to Thursday. That was a nice move. All right, taking a look at Goldman Sachs. I made note in the last video that I like watching how the 8 and the 21 kind of play with each other on the daily basis. And they both on this twin peak high at around 127, it didn't, even though the let me see, this is the 233, 377, this is the 610 exponential moving average. It did move above that by 4 or 5 points, but notice that the 8-period moving average, it didn't cross down below the 21 until 2 days ago, when actually it was in concert with T1 moving down below 0. So one of the things I was watching is that the 8-period moving average did not cross above the 610 moving average. It did move over here for 1 day. But my point is that I like watching not only what the 6, 10, I mean, what the 21 and 8 are doing, but what they're doing in relation to other exponential moving averages. So right now, at least for a while, Goldman Sachs looks like it's on the down move, and it may trickle up and try to hit 118, 119, which is on the 5-minute period. I mean, the 5-minute cash price is right about at the 377. So that's a possibility because T2, T3 is above zero, and this is moving down slightly. It looks like it wants to go down or it wants to go up. It's not a clear shot. But if it does go up to 118, it is definitely shortable. All right, since Baidu took its big hit from October 26th down at 114 down to 103. It's kind of been going sideways. T1, T2, T3, they're all below zero. So the trend is down. It's still, let's go to a weekly on this and see what it looks like. You can't really tell by the waves, but you can tell by the price action that it's below the 144 period moving average, and if the market keeps on moving down, now it may go sideways on the 5-minute, you know, you may get some plays here to the upside or the downside for day trades, but long trend on a weekly, the 8 and the 21 have crossed, and they are now below, they've been below the 55 period moving average, exponential moving average, and now the cash price is below the 144. So it looks like it wants to at least come down to 98, to 100, which is only 3 points away. But if it breaks 100, then the next target is 90. So just beware of that and be careful. All right, it looks like Google got tired of going down in a straight line, so it went sideways for about eight or 9 trading days, and then started down. It got a 10-point bump on Friday. Target still 630. The target is still 640 on this. All these lines, 8 and the 21 is crossed, and they both crossed the 55 period exponential moving average. And as of Thursday and Friday, T2 is below zero, and all the rest of the waves are above zero, but they're getting close. And also, the last 4 or 5 trading days, the 377 exponential moving average on the 5-minute has been an upward barrier, and every time it hits that, the wave goes below zero. Like for instance, right here it's 682, and T1 goes into T2, T3, T4, and you ride it until one of these waves on the bottom. So it's like between a 15 and 20 point move. And okay, so right here it's starting again. T1 is below zero, and you have to wait for a commitment of T2 to go below zero. And since the long wave on T5, the dark blue one, is below, then it might, that's a shorting opportunity, especially if it spikes up to 667 in the morning. So, and these stay below zero. Okay, Amazon I like here on the downside because T3 on Friday went below zero, and T4, if you can see this, see those little dark hash marks right there? They also went below zero 2 days before that. So I like Amazon on the downside here. As an immediate target, I only have like 222, but actually this, you see this top right here, back in March, is the same, is the support in May, and it's a little bit higher support in July. So this July support right in here at 213 matches what the 377 on the daily is going to look like in about 5 or 6 trading days. So my target for Amazon is 212. Now it might be a few days to get there. You want to buy in the money December puts on that. Just make your selection. It should be about like a 70 delta. So you're not paying a lot of premium. And just follow the 5-minute or the 21-minute for an entry. Okay, one of the reasons why I like this was because on the 21, T4 made its way below zero for the first time, and so did T5. Let's see how far back that goes. It's been above zero since the end of October. So and it's been basically going sideways since this earnings came out. So it looks like it's starting to roll over. I especially like this T4 area right here. It's a lot cleaner, and I like clean moves with the waves. They tell a lot more. All right, let's do one more look at the S&P. Let's put a 4181 on the left and a 1597 on the right, and see what's going on. All right, so if you are overnight trading this, then T1 went below zero. T1 went below zero in the afternoon on Friday, and now in the overnight session, T2 has gone below zero on the 4181. So you can just follow that around. I'll tighten this chart up a little bit, and you can see some closer action. Same thing at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock on Friday, this went below zero, and now at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, Sunday evening it's below zero. So these are all live updated charts. And the S&P is right now up 25 cents, up 1/4 of a point, and it may just zigzag here. All the good news already has come out of Greece. Want to tell you a little bit story before I sign off. Is when you're looking at a market that's going down, and let's take a look at the daily. Let's pull this daily chart back out again. When you're looking at a market that's going down, and this is the August, September, October of all the way into December of 2008, and you've seen what it's been doing, and all the videos that I've been talking about the tops and about the trend lines and about the support and resistance lines. Big picture is, I think this market is coming down. So in 2009, I went to visit a broker that I used to have, and I said, I would have thought you would be retired by now. You've been working for 25, 30 years. And he said, I can't. I have a 201k. And for a second I didn't know what he meant until I realized that his 401k was now worth 201k. In other words, he's a broker. He's been advising other people for 30 years. He did not catch this move down in this whole debacle that happened in the economy. And his 401k retirement was in half. So he couldn't afford to retire. Please be cautious and do not let this happen to you. So there are all kinds of indications that this market is in the mood to go down and wreak havoc on people. And it's not just our deficit, It's what's going on in Europe. It's what's going on in China. And just be very cautious. So, good luck trading, and I will see you at the next update.